In the program, there is this very meaningful mission statement. An annual conference to create a bridge between policymakers, academics, practitioners, and activists. That's an interesting crowd. It really promises something, a place where these people can meet, exchange ideas, discuss emerging issues of information technology, privacy, data protection, and law. And I'm sure that has happened over the last few days. There was a most ambitious agenda with an impressive range of activities. The organizers and participants must be exhausted by now, so I'm going to treat them with ease. And first, I want to give big thanks to Paul and his colleagues in the committee, the organizers, the scientific committee behind it, and so on, and you for your endurance. Now, all this is extremely welcome for at least 3 reasons on which we could easily agree. The first is that data protection is increasingly relevant in a world that more and more depends on continuous use of ICT in practically all sectors of society, including the most intimate spheres of our private lives in which we interact with our friends and relatives. And I know there are many out there who implicitly assume that personal well-being will be based in this new digital environment only on secure technology and good intentions alone. But we know, and they will soon discover, that this is just not in line with reality. Because the truth is that different private and public interests are involved, other interests than our own, and they meet at different points, and they may not necessarily all be in harmony with each other. And even the best of intentions may fail as a result of bad judgment or lack of professional care. So we need more than just good intentions and safe technology, even if that is fully attainable. Second, recognition of rights and obligations in the law alone is not sufficient. The need for more effective data protection in practice has never been greater than today. In several decades, a new body of law has emerged, both at national and European level, which is now known as data protection law. In several countries, it even has special features of constitutional importance. And since the entry into force of the Lisbon Treaty, this fundamental right to the protection of personal data has now also been recognized as a binding element of European Union law. However, the value of this recognition is very limited if we are not sufficiently successful in making sure that this right is adequately delivered in practice, where it really matters. And third, delivery of more effective data protection in practice in a more and more complicated reality is not possible without considerable creativity and adequate awareness of all those involved. It's just at this point where a conference of this kind is very welcome in a long week of events aiming at raising awareness of data protection. The variety of subjects covered, and the program was clear on this, and the suggestions made to provide solutions for new problems have undoubtedly been of a level showing great deal of creativity. As the EU has recently embarked on a review of its current legal framework, and that was also in your program, these contributions may prove to be very useful. However, a conference of this kind is also designed to empower participants and civil society as a whole into more engagement and commitment with the quality of our legal, technical, and social infrastructure for the protection of human rights and privacy and data protection. More specifically, that right to data protection is not only valuable in itself, but it is also a key element of other important issues, such as a healthy economy, a sustainable security system, and a transparent and accountable government, to name just a few of those important issues. All this implies that this conference is not only very welcome, but should also inspire everyone into more engagement and action where it is required. And I think engagement and action are called for, and this is why I have recently called for greater ambition to ensure a fully effective legal framework in order to address the great challenges that are ahead. Not only new technologies and globalization, but also the need for economic recovery pose challenges in many ways. However, greater ambition and creativity will help to find the best way forward. I want to add that in addition to challenges, I also see great opportunities. I've mentioned this before, and I think that over the last year, and over the last year, we have seen some of these opportunities materialize. If used well, this may lead to better and more effective data protection. To be specific, the Lisbon Treaty has really made a difference in this domain. It has provided for more emphasis for fundamental rights protection. It has provided for a general legal base, for a renewal of the legal framework, and it has also provided for important institutional changes, so that, for instance, the European Parliament is now fully competent partner in this review covering all union policies. In the opinion some of you will have seen, which I have issued on the 14th of January, we have emphasized the importance of a comprehensive approach. That is indeed an approach not excluding any particular part of the area. That we have also mentioned the importance of further harmonization, far-reaching harmonization, to reduce the unhelpful diversity presently in the European Union member states, which creates unnecessary costs and limits the effectiveness of data protection. Part of that is also simplification. We need to use the time to do away with presently old-fashioned approaches. We need to strengthen the rights of data subjects. And there are many examples to do that, including some new creative ones, and also solutions which can help individuals survive enforcement, which can be very lonely. If they combine their interests, this will be easier. Strengthening also the role of organizations, their responsibility. Ensure a more globalized approach, clarify some issues in the area of applicable law, include, I say that again, police and justice. You have no doubt watched the tensions around that subject, but that should be part of the whole to ensure an effective approach. The EPAs need to be more powerful, but also more selective. They need to think more strategically, and they need to cooperate. And I have, in that opinion, emphasized that when we are waiting towards the results of this exercise, which will be delivered probably in the course of the next few years, we also need to apply what we presently have. We should not stop being creative on the basis of what we have, but we should certainly also apply what we have to deal with the challenges which are presently here. So that means improve enforcement and apply. Do not postpone. Well, the perspectives I mentioned last year were that there were bound to be a number of interesting events. I think that was certainly true. Timing was a little different. The expectations were that the Commission proposal was already on the table, and I praise them and the Lord that they take a little more time to come up with a good, sound proposal, and the more ambitious, the better it will be. So I can be sure, if I mention to you, that when you come back next year, there will be interesting developments. There will be much to be discussed. In fact, this process of 2012, 13, 14, up to 15 will provide for Until the 8th edition of this conference, Paul, mark it in your agenda, and it will provide a sound basis for future work. I wish you all the best for a productive future. I hope you stay tuned and engaged, and I look forward to further input with ambition and creativity. Thank you.